Last Thursday we had a meeting at Nonkqubela's home, a regional meeting, and when I drove home I had to drop a few of the colleagues off. There were no street lights. It was the darkest city I've ever driven in, and it was misty and it was drizzling, and I couldn't see where I was going. That's how bad it is. Nothing works in the city, and that's what motivates ActionSA. We have a very simple slogan, one slogan. It says, let's fix South Africa. And it's a call to everybody. It's let's fix South Africa. Obviously there will be a slightly different rendition to that in the local government elections, but it's focused on fixing what is being broken. And that's why it's important for us to understand that we have different political backgrounds. And what really makes it exciting for me is that those backgrounds, when they come together, they enrich us. That we aren't a one-dimensional party that only represents a certain group of people, and that we're a party that only represents a certain language. We're a party that represents all the people of the city. And you know what's interesting is that as we leave our political homes that we grew up in and the political parties that we serve, we learn that we've still got a long way to go in our democracy. We've been promised so much, yet the delivery part has let us down. So with those words, I want to say that ActionSA is a new party, but operating in the same communities. We know these communities, and the really exciting thing about our candidates, apart from one or two of them, they're not big political names. They're just people who come out of the communities. People who come out of communities that experience daily hardship. So we're not retreading past politicians that have failed in the past. You know, I saw in the Sunday Times this weekend that there was an article about who the mayoral candidates are for Nelson Mandela Bay. Sandile Lobishe and Mafaya. And I realized that unless we do something different, we're never going to fix the city. If those are the mayoral candidates for the ANC, the very people that have broken the city, then I realized that we have got a massive job to do. And all of us understand that, need to understand that. I also haven't forgotten that our president was here about a month ago, praising Lobishe for turning the city around. But that same week in Parliament, she was being vilified by the Parliamentary Committee on COPTA and by the Auditor General. So everybody who does any assessment of this government is crucifying the people responsible for the government. But the president comes here and praises them. And that's what I found very difficult to understand. And that's what motivates me. We can't do the same thing over and over again expecting a different outcome. So this morning I want to make a couple of introductions, and I want to encourage the media after the introductions to engage those people, to speak to them, not just to me, please. People know me, I've been here for a long time, I'm really committed to the city. I think I showed that in the 2 years that I was the mayor. I don't live here anymore, but I have a strong vested interest in Nelson Mandela Bay. So the first person I want to introduce is Nonkqubela Jonas. She is our regional chairperson. You know, when I met Nonkqubela, she struck me as a woman that was wanting to get the job done. And you know, she performed in various capacities, never moaned, but then when the opening came for her to take over the responsibility of being the regional chair, she stepped up into that responsibility magnificently. And she is a reinforcement of, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy woman. She runs a creche, she runs a family, but she also runs the affairs of this party on the smell of an oil rag, literally. I don't know how she does it, but it's that kind of commitment that we see from all of our candidates. The next person that I want to introduce is Mtiwabo Ndube. He's the regional secretary for ActionSA, but he comes from a background in the ANC, quite a prominent background. When I first met him and I left after our first meeting where he said he wanted to come and join us, I Google searched him. He's been a councillor for the ANC, he's been an MPL for the ANC, he's held various leadership positions of the ANC in this metro over many, many years. And he left the ANC to join another political party, but after not too long he realized that that political party was just an offshoot of the party that he'd left, and he decided to come and join us, and he will speak for himself. So Mtiwabo, a very warm welcome to ActionSA. I believe that his experience and his reputation in the city will enhance our efforts at local government level. The other candidate or person that I want to introduce is also one of our candidates, and the people I have introduced, they are candidates for the local government election. It's Sandile, Rwexwana. Now, Sandile was a councillor with me in Nelson Mandela Bay. He was a PR councillor and a ward councillor. We've come a long way. But when I left my former party, he and I didn't see each other for nearly 4 years. I did see him on social media because he was campaigning for another party. And very warmly, I mean, I actually sent him a message. I said, hey man, I see you're really on fire for this party. And he said, yes, I am. But he too, after a while, realized that maybe that wasn't the solution. And we're not here to slag off other political parties. Not my former party or anyone else's. That's not our job. And as I said up front, we all come from somewhere. But I just want to mention that he brings experience. We have a long relationship together, but there was a 4-year hiatus where we never even spoke to each other. So this isn't about us being chummies. We're not a party of chummies. And in fact, I want to tell the media today that many of the candidates that are here today, I've not even met yet. And I really like that, because that means that there's an authentic process taking place of identifying people in communities who want to stand up and do something differently. And talk about different. The one thing that is very different in ActionSA from all the other political parties, we are not going to submit a list of ward candidates and a different list of PR candidates. We're not going to do that. I'll tell you why. Because what happens often is that ward candidates work really hard, but they don't get enough votes to get elected themselves. And the people who get elected then come off the PR list. So there are people that might not have community support. There are people that might not have worked very hard in the campaign, yet they're the people who go to council. So obviously our first objective is to win wards. The second objective is to make sure that those people who didn't win their ward but worked really hard and got the most votes are the people that will go onto the PR list. Now that's unique, because that is giving recognition to the people who work the hardest, not recognition and appointment to office or council to people who are connected to the leadership. So I want to say to the candidates today, it's going to be on your efforts that will determine who will go to council. And I think that that's quite unique, that the party will recognize hard work, because that's where it starts. If your councillors don't work hard, what are they doing for you? So without any further ado, I'm going to ask, first of all, Nonkqubela to please introduce her REC, which is the Regional Executive Committee, so that you can just see where the people come from and who they are. And then thereafter, I'm going to ask Mr. Mtiwabo to give us a little background as to what made him come to this party, what are the issues that we are going to be focusing on as a regional executive in Nelson Mandela Bay, and what we're going to be focusing once we get people into council. My last word, and perhaps this is for the media, but also for every one of our members. I use the metaphor to describe how important it is to have new blood in council. Because many of those people that are in council now representing various parties have been there for 10, 20 years, and they're still doing the same thing. Now, we're not going to nominate a mayoral candidate today, or possibly even before the elections. What we're going to do is we are going to make sure that we are the party that the biggest party will have to come to form a government. And the metaphor I use is a bicycle. A bicycle has two wheels. But a bicycle can't go anywhere unless the middle cog where the pedals are, joined with a chain to the back cog, is there. Without those two small cogs and a chain, the bicycle can go nowhere. Not to mention the person that's pedaling it. We want to be that middle central cog. We want to get enough votes and councillors into council that whoever wants to be a government here, doesn't matter what party it is, will have to come to ActionSA to say we need your number of votes to establish a government. And Mtiwabo is going to tell us what those conditions will be. We will work with any political party as long as they understand what our fundamental principles are. And I know you'll speak to them. Because that's the bottom line. We know that as South Africans we have to work together. This business of saying never with that party, we learned in 2024. Our president was the first one to say, I learned from my mistakes, because he said, never in 300 years will we work with the ANC. Now we govern Rwexwana with the mayor, Nasipi Moya, who is making political waves in this country, and we're governing with the ANC and the EFF. So South Africans need to learn that we will have to join hands to fix things that are broken. Nonkqubela,
Thank you very much, Chair. Morning, everyone. In the Nelson Mandela Bay, we've got the REC that is leading at the moment, and the REC consists of, we almost here in the Nelson Mandela Metro, we've got 6 clusters that are active in ActionSA. So this REC consists of its members from different clusters. It's not in one cluster or 2 clusters. All clusters are represented in this structure. And also we've got all chairperson, all sub-region chairperson, they form part of this REC. So the chairperson is Nonkqubela Jonas, the one who's in front of you. The secretary is Mr. Mtiwabo, Ndube. We've got Dennis January, is the member also there. We've got Nathan Swartz from UNIC in service delivery desk. Mr. Ayub Abraham, Mr. Mzaza, Mr. Witi Mogane. We've got our campaigns manager, Sandile. We've got the logistics manager, Ndube Mahongo, the Uzandi Kati, the member, Pastor Jonas from Justice, Ulona Mtati, she's representing the youth there in our structure, and also we have Tracy Strayedom, she's representing people living with disability, and also Salon Boysin, she's representing the women in the structure. We've got Oroydin Brown, who's our spokesperson in the region. We've got Usilo Jama. That is all.
Okay, next I'm going to ask a political veteran in the city to give us the reasons why he decided to throw his hat in as a candidate for ActionSA, and also to talk about the issues going forward that we will focus on in this metro. And as I said to the media, please engage Nonkqubela, Mtiwabo, Sandile, Pastor Jonas, because he'll give you an interesting perspective of being a ward committee member and why he wants to take over in that ward. I think that's really crucial, because ward committee members see what happens or doesn't happen in their wards.
What is the problem? What is the crisis we face in our city? One is incompetent leadership, it's corruption in the city, it's mismanagement, it's the leadership that is incapable of turning things around in this city. You are not going to renew the chair, you are not going to renew this government because for young fellows, young ladies who don't know what to do about the city. The other issue what we know, the city is dysfunctional, potholes, water leaks. The city is dark, you can't drive at night in the city. But there is theft of money. The city is losing millions and millions every year because of theft, of fraud. 30 billion in that 2.8 billion per annum. This city is losing 2.8. What can you do with 2.8? Mismanagement. Unaccountable finances. The finances are in the we've got mayors shifting every time. In the source of the plan, there's mayors. Changing. Individual municipal managers. It's the same situation. You can't have a stable city if you have an unstable head. More than out of 8 of the 10 executive directors are acting. People are acting like they're voting. The most important thing, crime is very high. No one is dealing with this crime. No one. I'm part of the CPF in another way. I'm part of the IEC election committee. We ask the police, how are you fighting crime in the area? Because we've got a dead body already in PD. And many more. They say they've got only 2,000 police. And the electoral force are only 150. How can they run the crime or handle the crime if they have no capacity? Millions of naira going down the drain. Hotels are not fixed. Houses are not built. There is money. The city is not without money. We had, when I was a councillor, then 2012, about 5 billion reserves. Today we have about 3 billion. So there is money where we can go and borrow money so that things can happen. Money for countries being sent in billions to our city. This city named after Mandela, when it exploded, Ndube and Ndube into one mess in the West. People are sitting, this is incredible. So hence I said, let's join hands with Trollip, join hands with Mashamba, and all these people who love their country. Somebody focus on what are the principles. All people don't think the principles in the townships. They are poor, they are unemployed. We want to do away with the culture of public homes. We want to employ when you come with people like in there, remember, competent management. They must be skilled, and we want to make sure that this city is crime free.
Good morning, everyone, especially to the media. My name is Sandile, Rwexwana. I'm the candidate for ActionSA at the moment. What happened is that I used to be a peer councillor serving with Mr. Athol Trollip in the DA. I was also a ward councillor in Ward 5. I'm contesting the same ward these coming elections. I've been in a journey where I move with my community. When I go or take a decision, I inform the community where I'm coming from. That this is the right path now that I feel that I'm taking. Then the community, when I do that, they normally follow me. But they were reluctant when I went to MK. They said you are coming because of you, but we don't feel this part is right. Then I could see myself now that, I'm not going to fulfill the needs of our people through the MK party. Then I said to myself, no, I cannot go on like this because I'll be selling the votes of our people to a party that is not going to represent them at the end. Now I took a conscious decision. I said, I don't care who says what, I'm leaving MK party. And when I left MK party, I said I'm going back to my NPO because before I went to, after I left DA, I went and opened up my NPO and I worked in the community. Then, as I worked with the community, I said, hey, this thing of MK, I think can work because I could see that it changed things. First of all, making ANC to be 40%, and I said I want ANC to be out. That was my driving reason, that I wanted ANC to be out, even if like it's what is taking ANC out. But realizing inside the MK, I said no, this is not the right vehicle for our people. and I then decided that I'm going back to Vukuzenzele. I'm sure some of the people know Vukuzenzele because we're the one who invited Tolani from Sizamtona with the help of Mr. Trollip anyway. Then when we discuss, we find out that we are having synergies with the ActionSA, and there are some of the things that we are fighting for are the same that we are fighting as Vukuzenzele. And we said, as Vukuzenzele, we are going to align with ActionSA, and we are going to allow our members to be members of the ActionSA because we want a vehicle that is going to be able to liberate our people. Because what is happening in Nelson Mandela Organization, that's exactly what Mr. Mtiwabo is saying. Our municipality is really in tatters. And we need people of a good structure, people who are going to very well principles to make sure that we are returning our municipality to their former glory. Because our municipality used to be one of the best performing, especially under Mr. Athol Trollip. I was really trying to convince him that he needs to come back because it's needed by the people of Nelson Mandela Bay. Because these things of returning money, under his term, 2 terms, we were spending 100% of the budget, and we used to get another money from other municipalities that didn't spend, and get more money to spend on our service delivery. Now, every time when there are issues of electricity blackouts and sewage, moving broken sewages and everything, I normally cry. Because what happens is that I know it's because of the money that is being returned back. People, they don't understand when the municipality says that the money is going back to the national treasury, that it's minus the service delivery in our communities. And you will find out that our municipality is having a more than 20 years backlog in terms of maintaining the infrastructure. There's no infrastructure development or upgrading of the infrastructure.
Greetings to the people of the press and to our leadership. The reason I joined ActionSA is to see that in my ward we do have a councillor. I joined him as one of the work committees while I was not a member of the ANC. But I've noticed that they could not listen anything from me because they say I'm not the ANC member. So I find out that there's nothing we're going to solve here in this ward unless ActionSA must do something. So I joined the ActionSA, and then I became a ward candidate in order to fix. We've been 32 years in that ward, staying there. We were promised 8 years ago that we are going to have a clinic there, we are going to have a high school for our children. Until today, those things has never been done there. So that's why I took a decision that ActionSA will be a solution to the ward aid. So that's why I have to join ActionSA in this ward to make sure that we are fixing those things that have not been fixed there. And I've tried my best to convince that councillor there, because the problem in that ward is not because of the parties. We as the community, we should stick together trying to fix that ward for our children. But now it seems like he doesn't care. But I understand he's not residing in that ward. He's got a business place there. So he's using that title deed as if he's a member of that area because he was staying there. So as someone who's got medical aid, we never worry for us to have a clinic. We never worry because his children, he must go. He could take them to the private hospital. A person will take his children maybe to come to town because even his children never go and attend school in that area. So that is why I see that it is a need for us as ActionSA to form part of government in that area so that we can do a change to make a difference for the people of that area. Because everything is far. Our kids, for them to go to school, they must travel to go to other areas. Even elderly people, if they want medical help, or maybe they are, what do you call it, their treatment, they must travel and go outside that ward. While we know that those are basic, they're supposed to be near people, because majority of the people of that area, they are unemployed. So I decided I joined ActionSA and become a candidate. And I'm a pastor. People have been asking, what are the church leaders are doing? Because now this is not right. So now we take a stance to become a Nehemiah of this generation, to rebuild the walls of Nelson Mandela Bay, because we have seen that Sportnet is not working, all post office are gone, everything is the water is going up and down. I was shocked last week when I was there, where we go in with the leadership here in Somerset. Even the sewage is flowing there. That thing has never happened in this city. But under the ANC leadership, those things are happening. So it's time for ActionSA to remove the ANC administration now and make sure there is an administration that will take a stance and listen to the people and fix this country. This is our call now. This is what we're about to do, to fix Nelson Mandela Bay. I thank you very much.
So I think that's the perfect way to end before we take any questions or do interviews with individuals hereafter. That to me is a perfect way to end this press conference and to tell you what we're doing. We are taking local people to represent local people about local issues on council. Because nobody knows better where the shoe pinches than the person that actually has the shoe on where they live. And there you could hear the passion. There you could hear the issues that come out of the communities. So what I'm finding inspiring today is that the people that are here, most of us, are candidates. You come from your communities have asked you to represent them. Many of them are CPF members, patrollers, involved in community affairs, involved in NPOs. We're going to be the ordinary man and woman's party in the council. Not the same old retreaded people that are responsible for the city having the highest irregular expenditure of all the metros in South Africa. They're becoming the crime capital of South Africa. Nelson Mandela Bay was one of the most peaceful cities. It's now the crime capital. Our beachfront is a disgrace when it should be on our iconic treasure in the city. These are the things that we're going to have to fix. But we're not going to fix it with shiny shoes and shiny people. We're going to fix it with ordinary people. Ordinary people. We're going to be the party of ordinary people. And if you don't deliver, or if you involve yourself in corruption, I'll remind you what happened with our mayoral committee member in Tshwane. She was implicated, not found guilty or charged or anything. She was implicated in corruption in the Matlanga Commission. Before the week was over, she was gone. That's the kind of example that we want to set in South Africa. We will not tolerate corruption. We will not tolerate unethical behavior. And as MT said, when we go into arrangements and negotiations with any party, I'll remind you, when I was the mayor here, we had a cooperation agreement with the EFF. It's not new. We have to work with who's on the ground and who gets elected. That we will say to them, these are our non-negotiables. Ethical leadership, honesty in government, corruption, enemy number one, and service delivery must take place. If you're prepared to do that, we'll work with you. If you don't want to do that and you won't honor that, we will not work with you. And the last thing, whatever coalition we go into, it must be signed in blood as a public document. So whoever breaks the provisions of that coalition must understand the consequences will be that they will leave the coalition. I've been in that movie before in the city where I had a deputy mayor who broke every single provision of our coalition agreement and both parties wouldn't do anything about it. We've learned from that. Coalition agreements will be signed publicly, will be a public document. If there's an infraction of that agreement, you as the public will see it and you'll know that they've done it and there will be consequences. And that's the way we're going to roll going forward. So thank you very much for your attendance. I'm also very proud that if you look around here today, there are an equal number of men and women. Because Nonkqubela and her team have made sure that we're a team of men and women from communities. And in fact, I think women are in the ascendancy of the 44 candidates that we have so far, and we want to keep it that way. Not because we've said there's a formula or a quota of this ward a man, that ward a woman. We want the most competent men and women, and that men will not keep women out. That's the bottom line. Men will not keep women out. If you're competent and you're a woman, able or disabled, you will be the person that we choose to represent us in that ward. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you to the media. I really appreciate your attendance. And thank you to Mr. Werner Petersil of the Paxton Hotel for making this venue available to us at very short notice. I really appreciate his cooperation. Nakuni ndiyabulela nibekhona namhlanje. Ngoba nina niyazidla ngalo mbutho wethu omtsha esikhulisayo, sifuna nathi siphume siyoziqhayisa ngalo mbutho wethu. We must be proud of what we're doing. I'm certainly proud of what we're doing. Thank you very much.